So I read this article. It's called "The NYPD's Robot Dog Was a Really Bad Idea. Here's what went wrong."
Okay.
So essentially what happened was the New York Police Department rented one of Boston Dynamics' robot dogs. It looks like this that you can see on the screen. It's like kind of creepy looking. It's like almost spider-like.
Okay.
If you've seen them move, they're like pretty creepy.
You mean like it moves like a spider?
Well, to me it like looks like it moves like a spider. It's
Okay.
just like crawling along, and I mean, I know it doesn't have 8 legs, but it still is just something about it. Just is not very like warm and fuzzy. It's more just like, I don't like it or want it here.
Okay, but some people might like spiders, and maybe
some people might like spiders.
think spiders are warm and fuzzy, like
sure,
like Lucas the jumping spider. You seen those little
No.
animations? They're so cute.
No. Well, then you might find this robot dog to be more cuddly and lovable than I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But essentially, yeah, the NYPD decided to try out using one of these robot dogs in a couple different situations. They only used it, this article was saying, like a few different times, but one was at like a public housing project.
Okay.
And then another was in like a hostage situation. So in moments where like there's like, it didn't give the details of like what exactly happened in those moments, but I don't think that the like police dog was a welcome presence by anyone that was in that situation.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, so there's a hostage negotiation happening.
Yeah.
Let's introduce some weird robot that nobody is going to be comfortable with in order to like make the person more comfortable,
right,
to release the hostages.
Right. Like, I
Doesn't
don't
really
think that's going to happen.
Yeah, okay.
And like people are, it's not like they're like telling many people about like what they're doing, like, oh, you might be seeing these robot dogs around town or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think they just like showed up and it's like, what is that?
And it's weird too. It's like, I feel like the police get all these like weird gadgets and toys all the time because they have so much funding.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. Like, you get this gadget and you're like, I need to use it. So situations like you just explained, like when you only have a hammer, everything seems like a nail. So they're probably just like, let's use this robot dog in these situations because it makes like more sense than like not using it.
Yeah. I don't know if they just wanted to like try it out and see what
so
happened.
Weird.
But to me, and they said this in the article also, like it would have made more sense for the police department to use this robot dog in situations like a house fire where like a human, it would be dangerous for them to go in and like save people. But if you can like have this robot dog go in there and like say, I don't know how it could really like help.
Yeah, how is that gonna help?
Well, I don't know.
Wait, and the article was saying like it should be used for a fire situation?
Well, it mentioned that, and at the time I read it, I was like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. And I still think it is, except now I'm like, well, how would they actually like do anything?
To me,
I don't know.
To me, that just makes me think of like an exploding robot dog. Like, we sent in the robot dog, and then the lithium battery exploded, and everyone died, and oops.
Well,
we meant to fix. Now it's like $750,000 are what these things go for.
Oh my gosh.
And renting it, I guess, is only $90,000.
Okay,
is what they spent.
Interesting.
That's what I
yeah
looked up before this, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, okay, maybe not a fire then, but maybe some other situation where it would be dangerous for a human to come into that situation, or where like, I don't know. I think that like in any situation, if like there's police there and then also that they bring their police dog, I would be like pretty like not trusting of the
Yeah.
situation. And
I'm
I
also not
mean,
trusting of police with
well,
real dogs.
that's what, yeah, like
Like,
people are like not very trusting of the police, especially right now. And so then it's like, okay, you're bringing in this like this thing that like looks kind of scary and creepy to a lot of people,
mm-hmm.
and like that has some sort of power, but you don't know what it is. And like what the article was saying was that like maybe right now is not the best time to be implementing this like new robot policing tool
Yeah.
when people are like skeptical of police anyway right now.
Yeah. What was the thing about the empathy? Like, people don't want to see these dogs being used by the police because they have empathy for the dogs. Is that a thing?
Oh, they didn't really talk about that much, but they talked about empathy in the sense that there was like a video that came out of like people kicking one of these robot dogs, and like people in that situation like actually like kind of felt bad for the robot dog. And like
Yeah.
I remember watching that video of people like kicking this dog robot dog, and like I felt kind of bad for it. Like even like knowing that like it's a robot and it has no feelings, like it cannot feel anything, I still was like, why are you guys doing that? Like you don't need to be doing that. And I
Yeah.
mean, I guess they're just like testing it to see like what it can withstand, which I get, but then I was like, why am I feeling this way?
Interesting. Yeah, so you had like transposed actual animal feelings over top of it,
Yeah,
where you're
yeah,
like
I did.
personifying it or giving it like.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah, I
interesting
did feel
too,
like
and I
that.
know I said this earlier, but like I didn't think that. I thought like, oh, this is just a really bad idea for them to be kicking this dog because at some point these robots are going to be sentient and they are going to be able
Mm-hmm.
to think and feel things. If all of the predictions and all the things we're working on are like going to come true,
Yeah.
so that's just like they're going to have access to these videos of like humans abusing these
Yeah,
dog
yeah.
robots and other robots.
Yeah,
Like,
and then it's like more reason for them to come after the humans.
yeah, I mean,
Can't wait.
honestly, right? Like humans, we're not the best candidates for like extended like moral superiority. It's basically we'll create something that'll recognize how immoral we are and it'll remove us from the equation is what I sort of think will happen.
Yeah.
Um,
But what do you think about in this situation the police department using these dogs? Do you think this was like a good idea and like a new thing they're trying out, or do you think it was a bad idea? What do you think?
so I kind of think it's interesting the framing of the article,
Mm-hmm.
which is that oh, the NYPD tried out this dog and then, based on public backlash, decided not to
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, in my opinion, the NYPD doesn't care about public
Mm,
backlash at all. It does
mm-hmm.
not. It does not.
Sure.
And so I think that whatever the decision was to not use this dog, it had nothing to do with the fact that people were
Yeah.
creeped out. It had nothing to do with the fact that like, oh, there's like some psychology where people are just not ready for these dogs in these certain
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
situations. The NYPD does not care if anyone's ready for
Mm-hmm.
them to be using some sort of intervention in some sort of situation. They'll
Mm-hmm.
fly a drone into your living room if they feel like it. They literally will. They'll throw a flashbang grenade into your apartment if they feel like it. So that's what's interesting to me is I want to know like what is the real reason why they're not going to use the dogs. And I think it's probably that the dogs are just not as capable yet to be used for police
That could
stuff.
be. Maybe it's like, yeah, not actually doing anything.
Yeah,
It's like,
like
here's our like fake little dog who's just our sidekick, but like,
totally.
it's
I
not
think
actually
what
doing
they would
anything.
love, they'd be like, "Oh, let's send in a dog that's like fully capable of like grabbing onto a person and bringing them outside
Mm-hmm.
for us
Mm-hmm.
without us having to do anything." Like
Yeah.
that's probably what they're looking for.
Holding someone down.
Yeah, like this thing it's probably more for surveillance and monitoring
Mm.
at this point like
Yeah, you're probably right.
than anything else. So like and at that point it's a locomotive machine, so it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
walking through hallways and stuff. It's not going to be as useful as a drone
Mm-hmm.
for surveillance. So like honestly, I just think that the robot dog, um, it doesn't fill enough Venn diagrams of usefulness.
Mm-hmm.
Or like the circles in a Venn diagram of like what a police would want this robot to do.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't quite get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that this is not going away. These
I don't think it is
robots
either.
are going to get like more and more involved, more and more capable,
Mm-hmm.
and police and other like military groups using robots is not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't the end of it. So like this Scientific American article where it says it was a really bad idea, here's what went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean it's done.
No, I don't think so.
Like
either.
we're still on this path of like the dystopian future is reaching for us.
Woo!
Woo!
Can't wait.
So that's my take. Like that's my rant on it. But you know, if viewers have separate thoughts, maybe you're a cop and you have a police robot dog. I don't know. I mean, there's also the thing about like how police use actual dogs and how that's essentially animal abuse. And like maybe they're trying to replace real dogs with these robot dogs, and I don't see that happening yet with where these robots are at.
Yeah.